You are Locked On Wolverines, your daily podcast on the Michigan Wolverines, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
So Thursday got away from me, but, life happens. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team about 3 days a week right now, while I kind of get my life in order. But anyway, it's the Michigan Mailbag today on this Friday, so let's just go ahead and get into it, starting with our leaders and best, James Crudup at James Crudup6. What were your preseason expectations on the basketball season versus how the season played out? Well, I didn't expect Michigan to be nearly as bad. It's disappointing, right? The inconsistent. I mean, literally winning every other game for like months, the last 10 games. Didn't see that coming. I thought this was going to be a much better team. I think I knew once the Seton Hall game happened that this isn't going to be what I thought. I thought this was going to be a team that wasn't necessarily going to win the Big Ten, but it was going to be up there. I thought it was going to be like right up there with where Purdue, Illinois, and all those teams are, Ohio State. And I thought it was a team that was probably going to be a lock for like a 3 or 4, maybe 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, not 11, 10, 12, whatever. Struggling to get into the tournament. This is not what I don't think anyone anticipated that. I mean, they were preseason number 6. I mean, I thought, losing Franz Wagner, Isaiah Livers, that's probably going to be a blow, but I still liked the pieces that they had, and I thought that they would be coming together a little bit better than they have. That said, the Indiana game going 9-10 minutes without being able to score, I mean, that's absurd. You got to figure out something. I mean, the fact that they just could not do it. I mean, you score once or twice in the middle of that, you win the game. That's what makes it so insane. But, I don't know. When it comes to this Michigan team, it's very disappointing. Josh Barr at Jadaki, do you think the NCAA should allow more on-field coaching roles? Seems like we always have a few pulling double duty, but I think it would be better for the players if they all had dedicated position coaches. Feel like staffs are about 2 to 3 coaches short of what they need. Actually, yeah. I was going to scoff at that kind of internally there for a second, but then, it's... Why isn't there the ability to have a position coach for every single position? I mean, maybe you don't say DNs need a position, inside linebackers need a position, yada, yada, but there is always offensive coordinator coaching wide receivers. Right now it's, offensive coordinators coaching offensive line and quarterbacks, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think that they could probably extend it by 2, and that would, I think, be fair. But you know what? They already expanded it once recently. I'm not going to hold my breath. I think it's fine the way it is, but certainly it would be probably better for the players, and there's really no reason why you can't say, hey, let's add 2 more. Michael Wolf, my brother in metal, at MWolf21. What's your expectations for the offense this year with Moore and Weiss wanting things? Have you heard of any changes they've made so far? I haven't heard of any changes they've made so far. I have not really had my ear to the ground. As usual, it's funny, the caveat that I've put out every spring ball, fall camp. I don't really delve into the I'll get inside info when it is given to me, but I don't seek it out the way I used to. Let me put it that way. But as far as my expectations for the offense, I think it should hit the ground running because it should be basically exactly the same of what it was. And I think it should, you've got all these returning players. I think it should be awesome. I think it would be almost inexcusable if this isn't the best offense Michigan has had aside from the 2010 Rich Rod offense. I think this should be the best offense Michigan's had since then. I think it should just be incredible. You have everything you want. Literally, you've got the quarterbacks, you've got the wide receivers, you got the running backs, the tight ends, and the offensive line. You have everything at your disposal, and all at a very high level. Any team should feel super comfortable with what this is right now. Long time no see, Trent Noop at Trent Noop, Wolverines wire writer. Is it September 3rd yet? Trent, it is March 11th, man. I know you want football. I just want it to not be winter. man. We got snow on the ground. I just want it to be 70 and sunny. That's what I want. Jimmy Whitner at Jimmy Whitner1. Based on what you're hearing from spring practice, what position, if any, do you think will surprise this year? Again, I don't really have my ear to the ground like that anymore. I do think that based off of what Jim Harbaugh said, though, I would not be surprised if the front four is a heck of a lot better than the front five, whatever, is a heck of a lot better than we probably think, given the departures. The fact that he's saying that Mike Morris could be the next Aiden Hutchinson. This is where he said made the scary good comment, all that kind of stuff. So I think that it would be unsurprising if that position group was really good. Just the whole of the defense, because I think we all expect the offense to be really, really good. I think the whole of the defense, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a lot better than people anticipate. Number two, what are your thoughts on the team traveling Michigan? What place would you add to their itinerary? I did add hopefully a place to their itinerary. I shared with them. I don't remember the name of it. It's like Wildwood something or something like that up near Charlevoix, where they can go ziplining. I told the powers that be they should add that. I think it's awesome, right? Because right now international travel is still kind of iffy. But I think it's awesome that they're going to just go see the state. I mean, the state in the summer is magical. So why not do it? Go and especially because there's a lot of people who haven't seen a lot of things within the state. So I think that's it's really good. Number three, where's your co-host Zuri? Well, at the moment she's upstairs in bed. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she's not in this bed. She's up in bed. Being lazy today. Being very lazy. I think she's sad because of the weather. She wants to go crazy, as I say. KRT at Farmark84, who will emerge as the other starting cornerback as alongside Turner. My money was on McBurrows, but sounds like he's battling a significant injury. I mean, another starter, Jamon Green. He's still around, still doing it. Jamon Green would be my guy. And then, McBurrows should be ready to go, though I think that would probably be the three-man rotation, if I was to guess, is DJ Turner, Jamon, and Jaden McBurrows. But McBurrows is going to take a little while. Jamon's still out there. He's doing his thing. So unless something happens and he decides to peace out, which at this moment doesn't look like that's going to happen, you got another former starter. Hopefully he looks like he did at the end of 2020 when he was just locked down. He was still really good last year, but I think he was really good at the end of 2020. Let's see. Brandon at Brandon S616. I need you to pull some connections here and get Tom Brady and TB12 Sports to get a deal going with the football program. Hey, Brady's got Brady brand going, right? Got Cade McNamara as one of his athletes. They certainly put Michigan front and center. They just had a behind the scenes thing of McNamara working out and off day practice type thing, wearing Brady brand stuff. So there you go. On a slightly more serious note that connects, do you think something like that would or should happen? I think that's probably where Brady's at now, but I don't think it would, because TB12 is more of nutrition stuff, and they've got Abigail O'Connor. I just don't think that they would step on her toes by having something that necessarily would overlap with what the team nutritionist would say. And obviously they got Ben Herbert, they got all that stuff. But so I think Brady brand's appropriate. Finishing us out in segment one, Jonathan Joseph at JJoseph2156 with Mike Sainristil's move. What do you think the two deep in the secondary looks like? I think he would start on defense. I just don't have much faith that I feel like the usual, not that I don't have faith in Mike. I have a lot of faith in Mike. I just usually whenever there's a position switch like this late in the game, as far as a guy's career and he's been established somewhere else, I understand the wide receiver room is loaded and that Jim said he could be a 2 or 3-way player. No, I think he'll end up mostly being a wide receiver. Personally, that's just how I feel about it. All right. We're going to continue on here momentarily, but before we do, got to tell you a little something about Built Bar. Y'all know how much I love Built Bar. It is a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. If you don't know what that is, it is very high protein, low calorie, low carb, 130-ish calories per with about 20 grams of protein. That means you can have 2 at a time and still have less calories, more protein than your leading meal replacement bar if you are like me and want to do something like that. But they are delicious, so it's hard to not have 2 at a time. I've bought dozens of boxes. I put my money where my mouth is, and I absolutely love it. So do like me. Go to built.com. Use the promo code LOCK15. That's built.com, promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off of your next order of Built Bar. Also, man, I really do love March Madness. I love those brackets, but I can't remember the last time I went deep or even won any money. I'm hedging my bets that this year was Stat Heroes NCAA Pick'em contest. Listen, Stat Heroes NCAA single game pick'ems pits the star players against each other, an amazing hybrid between fantasy and sports gambling. Take back control from those handicappers that always seem to have the advantage. Start focusing on the players you know best with a gameplay that doesn't rely on big spreads, or long odds, or funky props. Stat Hero gives you the advantage, resulting in their gamers winning 4 times more often. Why? Because Stat Hero eliminates the mystery about who or what you're going up against. In addition to their pick'em games, they also have dozens of lineups you can comb through to take on head-to-head. They simply post a sets of players, and for you to take on with the set of players that you choose, Stat Hero is the easiest and fastest way to get your sports action fix. The simple, sleek gameplay will have you playing in minutes. This is what daily fantasy is meant to be. So sign up for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon. Use the promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/lockedon, promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% match. stathero.com/lockedon, promo code LOCKEDON. Terms and conditions apply. All right, let's continue on. Let's get into with our Victor's Valiant. Starting with Jim at Jim in the North. Will you travel with the team around Michigan? I don't know, man. Probably not, because it does. Big Ten Media Days is right in there with it. So they're gonna leave where they're at. The guys like Jim and whatever players the day of or whatever go down to Indianapolis, if it's still in Indianapolis, and then do their thing for the day and go back up. And the fact that I'm gonna have to be writing off of all that. That just seems like a lot. So I'm going to say no, probably not, but could change. How do you think the new center will perform compared to Stardust? This is not a knock on Andrew Stardust. I think it's going to be an upgrade. I think Andrew Stardust was phenomenal, and he was been one of the best that Michigan's had at center in a couple of years, I think. But and keeping in mind, they had Cesar Ruiz, they had Mason Cole. I think he was right up there with those guys. I think Olu could be the best of them all. I really do. He's got everything. And I mean, he was a Remington Award finalist. He's a behemoth. He's got size. He's got smarts. He's got everything you kind of need. It sounds like he's super aggressive in the trenches. I think that he can certainly be the best of the bunch. KM at Keith _1906. Is Michigan doing satellite camps again? Probably. They were doing them kind of right. Like, I think last year, somewhat. So I would imagine so. Hutch of the Dead at Hutch of the Dead. With the depth and young talent of the Michigan wide receiver core and a change in the offensive coordinator department, will we see Michigan switch to a more balanced attack next season, possibly even leaning more on the passing game? I mean, they were pretty balanced eventually. It's just at the beginning of the year they weren't. Eventually they were, but I do anticipate they'll be. I think this is a type of offense that you should slant a little bit more towards the passing game, because you have the personnel where you can really thrive that way. But it will still be balanced, right? They're not just going to abandon the run. They're not going to get away from the things that worked, but I think that I could see them being a bit more, just a bit, trying to pass a lot more than they did at the beginning of the season, and being a little more consistent with it and all that kind of stuff. Enchanted Pants at Enchanted Pants. I have to decide soon on whether to continue with my Michigan subscriptions at either both on 3 or 24/7 Sports. I know you have friends at both, so maybe you can't pick which one is better, but maybe you can offer some pros and cons of each. I don't know. I can't really. Not really on the record. Steve Morenz is my mentor. I used to work for 24/7 Sports at Wolverines 24/7, and briefly when it was Michigan Insider. Chris Ballas and Clayton Safey and Anthony Broom are some of my best friends. Pick whichever one you like most, man. That's whichever forum you like the best and whichever personality you like the best. That's all I can really say. Sorry if that disappoints. Mark Z at Mark Zimke. Hi, Isaiah. Can you give us your thoughts on the revamped recruiting department? It seems to be keep growing by the day. I mean, it does seem like it, but I mean, at the same time, it's like there's some of it had, there were a lot of departures too. I think this part of it. I don't think that's necessarily getting bigger. It's just that they're re-adding pieces, and yeah, they're adding more. They need to keep adding more people because other schools, the powerhouse schools, have giant recruiting departments. So yeah, I think that's. I think that it is. Yeah, I think it's good. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of early to be like, what do I think of it? Because they haven't gotten a commitment really since it's been in place. And it's barely been in place. But also, he said, also, how was Tool? You know what, man? I didn't really have a great time. I mean, it wasn't like I had a bad time, but last time I saw Tool was 15 years before. Maynard was a little bit more willing and also capable of belting it out when you're seeing songs that they're performing live, like The Grudge and some others, where it's like you're accustomed to it sounding live a certain way and it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as emotionally attached to the music as I once was. Maybe it's that I just don't like the new album whatsoever. And that they played like six of the 12 songs were new album stuff, and I just didn't care. And I was in the upper deck because I bought my ticket like 4 days beforehand, so there were no single tickets available in the lower deck, so that was what I had to do with. But yeah, maybe it's also that I love bands like North Lane. That's more my speed now. So North Lane, Oh Sleeper, all those types of bands, Wage War. That's probably a little bit more my speed. Zach Vadlenti at Lenti. Zach, what are your top 3 Built Bar flavors? I think the coconut brownie chunk is my overall favorite. My second favorite is the peanut butter brownie. And then my third favorite is probably the, toffee almond. No. The coconut almond. The one that tastes like an Almond Joy. Coconut almond. Yeah. If Michigan ran the table but lost a close game to OSU on the road, could they still make the college football playoffs similar to Georgia losing to Alabama in the SEC championship? I think absolutely, right? But Ohio State would also have to be really good. Right? They would have to be like a, no worse than a one-loss team. If Ohio State loses to Notre Dame and Wisconsin and, whatever, and they go into that game that way, then that would be a hit for Michigan. But it would have to be like one of those things where, yeah, I think that if everyone kind of looks at Ohio State and Michigan and says both of those teams are like among the best of the best, and Michigan loses a close one on the road, there's absolutely a chance. But also depends on what the other teams are. Is USC really good? It's like everyone thinks they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be. I think they'll be better because they have Caleb Williams, I don't really care about Lincoln Riley. Is Georgia and Alabama still what they've been? It depends on if there's room, because SEC is going to get that benefit. Does a 2-quarterback system work if JJ is named the starter? No, probably not. I think that's only if JJ's not the starter, because he brings the run element and all that stuff. Cade's more of a traditional. I don't think you're going to bring in a more of traditional pro style type guy like Cade just because. You know what I mean? Spencer Whitmore at Spencer Whitmore. Hot take: Obi-Wan Kenobi will be the best Star Wars series besides the main movies. It won't even be close. I don't know. We'll see. Mandalorian had Ahsoka Tano. It's hard to beat. But I like this that they're doing the whole Inquisitor storyline, which is, straight out of Rebels or Jedi Fallen Order. I think that's going to be really fun. But we'll see. I'm excited about it for sure. Adam Casel at Adam_Casel. You and Sam Webb noted Harbaugh's high energy level at the presser. I know it was the same last year. Did he call last year's team scary good? I don't believe he did. I remember him calling the 17 team that, which didn't end well. I don't remember him doing that. I could be wrong, but I don't remember him doing that. Well, going into the 17 season, I had a feeling of foreboding. Maybe he said they were scary good, but I felt very tempered in my enthusiasm. Maybe it would have been better if Spate would have stayed healthy. It absolutely would have. That played a big part. Finishing us out in segment 2, Urban Night, American Football, Basketball, Part Alternation Mark, Musical Score. I know it's a bunch of stuff. At 20 Roar. Please accept my condolences for your loss recently. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. For the spring game, give us your starting 5 on the O-line and back 7 of the defense. Thanks for taking my question. Starting 5 on the O-line is, I think it will stand this way unless Carson Barnhart makes a big move, because it sounds like Trente Jones is the starting right tackle right now, so we'll go right to left. Trente Jones, Zach Zinter, Oluwatimi, Trevor Keegan, and Ryan Hayes. Back 7, Jamon Green and DJ Turner as your corners. RJ Moten and Rod Moore as your safeties. And if I'm just picking 3 linebackers, it would be Junior Colson, Ncaa Hill-Green. I'll say Kalel Mullings. Yeah, I think that'll be Kalel Mullings. So, all right. So let's move on here. But before we do, I got to tell you a little something about Bet Online. It's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. From all the latest odds and player props, BetOnline.net is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball, BetOnline is your continued source for all of your sport wagering needs, information needs rather, including live betting in your favorite Vegas casino games. Head to the website today or use the mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, I don't know why I took a pause there, because we have one more thing to talk about before I move on. I'm just used to saying that one last. March Madness next week. That's real. That's happening. That means you need to start thinking now about where you're going to be running your brackets this year. Are you going for the usual, or are you looking for the best? We've done our homework here, and we're running brackets with runyourpool.com. Along with standard brackets, Run Your Pool offers game types like Survivor or Pick X. Both are really fun in their own way. They have options to edit scoring, and they can offer more intel to make your picks. All stuff you won't find at ESPN or CBS. If you've got a business, Run Your Pool can help you take some of that madness magic and play alongside your employees or even gain customers. Plus, they offer full white glove customer support, custom branding, and one of the easiest 3-minute setups you'll ever find. Clearly, we believe in Run Your Pool because, like I said, we're running our brackets there ourselves. There's no truer test than that. If you want to play against us for a shot at cash prize up to $1,800, join us at runyourpool.com/lockedon. And while you're there, create your own pool for your friends and family. Enter Pure Madness at checkout for $10 off your custom pool. All the rules and details will be available there. That's runyourpool.com/lockedon for your chance to win a cash prize up to $1,800. We look forward to seeing and beating you there. All right, after a camera battery change, we are back. Don't know why I had to make that known, but I did. All right, so let us finish us out with, we got about 7 more. Can I count? Yeah. All right. A2 Go Blue, part alternation mark at Victor's Valiant 9. Have heard a lot about our receiving core. Realistically, who do you think will be the top dogs here? And the winner of the QB battle, will the winner of the QB battle affect this? I don't think the winner of the QB battle will affect that at all, to be honest. I think it'll be fine either way. I don't think there's going to be favorites in that sense. But Ronnie Bell, Andrell Anthony, I think will be your top guys, in Cornelius Johnson too. I don't know. It's hard to pick, man. Roman Wilson, H. Hanning are all ready to break out, you know? And I still think that Darius Clemens is going to burst onto the scene. I do. It's going to be a lot of guys that they need to get the ball to. So it's going to be kind of crazy. Paul H. Lorne, at Paul H. Lorne. Are we NIL competitive? Getting there. I can tell you Valiant management is really working on a lot of really cool stuff. So it'll get there. It's taking a little bit of time, but they're doing it the right way. I'll say that much. Bronx Bang Bang at Bronx Bang Bang. How's that JJ shoulder looking? Well, good enough to not need surgery, but not good enough to throw in spring ball, I guess is the best way to put it. Minion Blue heart, yellow heart, dash, symbol, pinched fingers at SFA part alternation mark. I'm guessing that's Mufasa. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just looking at what it is when you copy it into a Word document. Do you think JJ will be okay? I know it's a kind of a continuation. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. And do you think the new Will Johnson can take over for Hill's spot? I don't think he's necessarily, I mean, he can play safety, but I think that they like what they've gotten Rod Moore and RJ Moten. I think that he'll be, actually, I said Jaden McBurrows would be in there. Will Johnson very well could be in there as well. I, for some reason, just forgot about him for a second. I think he's going to get an opportunity, of course, being a 5-star. Usually they do in year one. Laura M. Go Blau. Bleaux. Are the chances of landing Dante Moore increasing with some of the new staff we have added and with Harbaugh staying? If I'm Moore and J.J. McCarthy does not start this year, why would I go to Michigan when I have to sit on the bench as a 5-star talent? Because because you know and like Michigan at that point. You've been hearing about it from Devin Gardner forever. I know there's a lot of Notre Dame hype and whatever. I'm not buying it still. I know Dante and everything. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. I'm not buying it. I feel like Notre Dame people hype things up a lot. There's not going to be a lot of new, like, exciting things about Michigan. He's going to go through his process, and to me, it just feels like how Will Johnson was, right? It's like, in the end, I think he's going to pick Michigan. Michigan offered him as an 8th grader. And with Notre Dame, he's going to commit before the season, but, like, there's a lot of unknowns with that Notre Dame coaching staff. You know, Marcus Freeman, not exactly proven head coach. Robert James at GCordRob12. Spring game, we no longer get to see JJ. Assume Cade starts for one team, assuming we get a real game. Who starts for the other team? Bowman? How much of the early enrollee freshmen will we see? I'm sure you'll see a bit of both Alex Orji and Jaden Denegal. Seen some pictures of them. And yeah, I would assume that Alan Bowman will be the other starter. Arrogant Big Ten champ alumnus trophy at Alum Arrogant. Who takes Hassan Haskins' role in more of a thunder back to Corum's lightning, or is that a role phased out in favor of more swing passes with Edwards moving into a co-starring role with Corum? I think it's going to be a mixture of that, and then I think Edwards he's a perfect mixture in a way of Haskins and Corum. He can run between the tackles. He's a big body dude. He can get those extra yards. But I think that he would be a little bit more thunder. But you wonder if it's another guy like maybe Tavier Dunlap as well by committee, but it's just going to be a different look. I don't think you necessarily need, to have it be like, okay, one guy does this guy does that. I think they've just got two really capable and different backs to be the main guys. All right, Chris Fahim at Chris Fahim finishing us out. What's the future trajectory for Coach Dinard Robinson with the Michigan football program? I don't know, man. He's been here for like a week. And right now he's behind the scenes, but I don't know. I hate to always say I don't know, but I also don't want to lie to you and be like, oh, here's what's going to happen. Here's what the plan is. This is what I think it. No, I don't know. He's been here for like a week or two. So we will see. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. We'll be back probably Monday. I was going to say maybe the weekend. Probably not. We'll be back on Monday. We will talk then. Thanks for watching and or listening. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.